Test.
Tombstone, dirt place, doomsday place, doomsday, doomsday. Bring it to the bar. Hard nigga, get a shot, get a bar, get a hot, get a hole, give a cock. Tombstone, dirt place, doomsday place, doomsday, doomsday, doomsday. Bring it to the bar. Hard nigga, get a shot, get a bar, get a hot, get a hole, give a cock. Tombstone place, doomsday place, doomsday, doomsday, doomsday. Bring it to the bar. Hard nigga, get a shot, get a bar, get a hot, get a hole, give a cock. Tombstone, dirt place, doomsday place, doomsday, doomsday, doomsday.
Hello, hello. What's up, everybody? Testing. What is going on? Welcome to the channel. My name's Alckemy. I have a new interface, so I'm kind of dialing this in. No pun intended. Testing. There we go. We listen, yo. The man of the hour. Hey, Nate, what's up? The man of the hour. Hold on. If you all are expecting a Bitwig 6 showcase, that is not what's going on today. We've got 2 more days left, and I do not have any secrets to reveal. Nothing like that. Welcome to the channel, though. My name's Alckemy. We're here, and we are going to be doing some production. We're going to be doing some sound design. I'm going to be making some neurobass strictly with hardware. And yeah, this is a hype stream. Okay. Just letting you all know, because I know that sometimes people come in and they're like, where's the Bitwig 6? And I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to advertise. I'm just here to hang with you all and share the excitement and just kind of have fun. Just want to set the expectation for what to expect. However, I did actually get a Bitwig Connect. And what's cool about this is I'm able to not have to do my crazy routing with the Electron devices now. What I have is just a single output a stereo output that's going into the microcosm, that's going into the Empress, that is going back into the Bitwig Connect. And what I've done is set up a template with a pre-master, so that way I can actually get effects and stuff through here without having to set up the Electron stuff, which is pretty freaking sick. So we are going to be doing some neurobass stuff today. I am going to be doing strictly hardware. I'm going to run the Digitone 2 through this chain, and then we'll probably build a chain on this for some neurobass stuff, but it should be a good time. The other thing that I wanted to show you all, which we have some quick play spells to get through, I haven't forgotten, but if you haven't seen it, I recently made an FM synth that's available to all of the Arcana members, and It's something that I'm pretty proud of because it took me a long time to put up. Actually, it didn't. Now that I think about it, it took me a couple hours, but that's a long time for me just because it, yeah. I usually don't like to spend that much time, but check this out. So if you haven't seen the video, I have kind of an introduction on this. I built a custom FM4/PM4 phase mod 4 device that allows you to freely route and modulate a matrix. It also allows you to change in between all of the oscillators that this has available. I built in a sampler into it. One thing that I didn't add on this is noise, which I probably will add at some point. But yeah, this thing is sick. It also has built-in time-based feedback. It also has master feedback built into all of these, into each oscillator. This thing is dope. And so if you're an Arcana member, go get it. It's in the Discord. If not, I'm putting this out in a pack that's going to be like essential toolkit or something for polygrid stuff that I'm making, where I've got like kick makers and all that. Not trying to advertise, just like, here's what I've been up to. So forgive me if this is coming off. What about constructive feedback? Well, that's what, I mean, I already have that. I built this synth. It's called, let me see. It's called, where is this? It's called Critique and Request. It's pretty good. Like, it's not as good as Phase Plant, but what you can do is essentially kind of like put your tune in, or actually you kind of have to like pay your dues by listening to some weird NPCs, you know, song, and you have to give them feedback, and then you can post yours, and then like crazy AI and stuff that's like almost hyper realistic will give back to you and give you constructive feedback. I'm trolling too, but I think like, no, it's a good opportunity to just tell you all about the resources that I have. Really, when it comes into music production and like getting better and stuff, that's really what this channel is about. So whatever you need, I've probably got it, and if I don't have it, I can tell you where to go to get it. And that's what it's about, is just kind of getting better and improving and having a place for you all to just grow with me, because I don't want to be by myself. That's the whole point of music production, right? Is to not have to do this stuff alone. I will say, we do have a couple of quick play spells to get through. And what this is a daily 15-second or less submission that what I do is you can post once per day, and 2 different days in my time zone. Okay, I'll play it. But this is a chance to hold yourself accountable, to get in the DAW and to make something. And what's cool is at the beginning of my streams, I'll play it. If you miss it or you miss a day, whatever, it's no big deal. It's just something to be a part of. It's a way that you can participate. It's also a way that I can see what you're doing, and you can have some of your stuff showcased without like the whole feedback thing, you know, or the line or whatever. 15 seconds is really easy to get through at the beginning of the stream, and so it's like really good to hold yourself accountable and be like, man, I don't feel like making music, but I can make something for 15 seconds and submit it to Alckemy stream. So yeah. I learn something every time I hang out on the streams. I hope so. That's kind of what this is about, you know? So we don't have many. We've got 4, but shout out to Pauk, because you finally made something. But yeah, this might be loud, so we'll join, do it. Just make sure that it's safe for work. Please don't post anything that's, you know, something that people couldn't listen to at work. If you want to do that, that's where the meme tunes are. Where is that actually? It's meme beats only. If you want to post your trash, yeah, or guys moaning, you know, I don't know what's worse, guys moaning or girls moaning. I don't really know. To me, those are just as bad. Anyways, let's go ahead and play this. I think we got through this one. Pink, if I skipped you, let me know. I thought we played this on on Friday. So if it's guys moaning, they're just dying. That's pretty funny. That was cool. Nice. Wow. Nice. So just stuff like that. It doesn't need to be a full track. It can just be whips or like dumb ideas. Not really here to pass judgment. It's just something that like get your butt in the DAW and make something, and then post. And then here's a place that you can post it. I will ask that you do 15 seconds or less. Some people are trying to post their whole fucking album. Like I'm gonna sit here and listen to that on stream. I'm not gonna do that, but I will. I will play 15 seconds of your track. I have so many well, like post something that's recent, like that you like post something. It's meant to be like fresh. You know what I mean? So it's meant to be like make something that day, or make something, or post something that you made the day before, or you know what I mean? I want you to think of it less as self promo and more as in like, damn, I didn't feel like making music, but I'm proud because I made myself do it today. You know, that's kind of the goal. Really, there's no way for me to tell, so I'm not going to sit here and police you. But yeah, exactly. So start posting those. You know, just, and I'll play them at the beginning of the stream. Sometimes I forget, but if I forget, then I do it on the next stream. And you all are more than welcome to remind me about being like, yo, Alchemy, play the quick play spells. So yeah, man, what is going on? How are you all? What, we are 2 days away from Bitwig 6, I think. Right? Let me see. When does Bitwig 6 drop? The 20, is it the 27th or is it tomorrow? Yeah, okay, so it's the 27th. So Wednesday, beta, which could technically be tomorrow, you know, because some people are over in Germany. You need to buy the upgrades like Cubase. You will need to buy the upgrades if your upgrade plan has expired. So if you buy a fresh license of Bitwig, then what happens is, yeah. So whenever you buy a license, you get to keep the license, but then you get a year of upgrades included within that purchase. But what you can do is you can wait for sales. So I think that there's going to be a Black Friday sale in case if like money is a thing. There's also summer sales, which Bitwig just ended. We used to have like the 10% off thing for our affiliate links and whatnot, but they stopped doing that for whatever reason. If anybody's interested in supporting the channel, there is a link to my link tree, and I do still have affiliate links for Kilohearts and Bitwig, but it doesn't really do you any favors. So I don't feel comfortable asking, to be honest. It's there if you really want to do it, but I think more so, I don't know what's coming in Bitwig 6. I'm hoping that it's got some of the things that I made the video on a couple of weeks ago, but to be honest with you, I have no clue. It could be just themes. It could be, you know what I mean? It could be just the piano roll thing. I don't know, but we're here to speculate. I'm more than happy to do that while I work on stuff. I'm curious as to what you all think is going to be in. I've read your comments on what you want to be included, but yeah, I mean, we're going to find out in a couple of days. And also, like, I am hype about this, but I am keeping my expectations pretty healthy because it's like, you just never know. You know what I mean? You never know. And this is the first time that they've done this to where they've kind of kept everything pretty quiet. Usually it's like, yo, we did the thing and then it's out. Girls Moaning Wave Pack included in Essentials. I'll tell you what, if they don't do it, I'll do it. No, I'm just kidding. Although I am working on another members pack that I've been using a lot of hardware lately, in case if you haven't seen it. And then over toward the side, we've got all of this other stuff kind of included in here. So what I've been doing is making a lot of sounds with hardware and just like doing cool stuff. Like if you haven't seen or heard what the microcosm can do, it's pretty incredible. In fact, we have this. And so if I put this into the pre-master here and mute it, and then set this to record, then what I can do, I believe, is turn this off. I thought. Oh, it's still not in there, that's why. There we go. And then I believe that I need to set this here. There we go. Yeah. So we've got all these things that we can work on with this, which is really awesome because I found out a template or a way to kind of put this together to where I don't have to do any setup now. This is all ready to go. All I have to do is make sure that this is put in the pre-master, and then the routing chain in here is already set up for me. So, which unfortunately this is still in mono, because I don't have the cables required to put this in stereo, but when I get those, then that will be replaced, so that way we have both. But even still, like, so now we can add the Empress here. So what I've been doing lately is just recording stuff like this, and this has been things that I can kind of just pull out from Rolling Sampler. So if we have this, we can kind of just take all of that and pretty much just geek out and have fun. And what I really like about doing this workflow thing, kind of like this, is that there's been this huge rekindling with the physical aspect of music, right? Like I do play guitar, not well. I do play piano, not well. I can play drums, not well. But having access to something that you are physically manipulating just has a totally different vibe. The way that you connect with the sounds and stuff gives you a much different feel. And while I will say that nothing really beats a mouse and keyboard when it comes into being efficient, when it comes into working fast and all that other stuff, having physical stuff, at least just a synth or, you know, a Oxy One MIDI controller or something, has been really enriching, I think is the best way to describe it. It's been very like fulfilling as a means of, wow, I actually feel like I'm a musician for once, you know, which I wouldn't call myself that. If anything, I'm a beat maker. But are there any new features that we should expect in Bitwig 6? I was hoping the Bitwig 6 drop was going to get a lot of articles about new features and all that, but internet has been very silent. That's because they've kept everything under wraps. Nobody knows. The only thing that we have is speculation based off of the picture. So let me see. I'll show you that, which what I can tell you are a couple of things, but I'll point them out. So give me just a second while I pull this up. So one thing that they said that they are doing is that they are going to make some kind of change to the piano roll. That was announced before they even announced Bitwig 6. The other thing is that if you look, there's a dark timeline here. And I don't know what this is. I'm not sure if it's automation clips or what, but it's something. But you can also see that the grid is transparent through the clips now as well. And those are just like some facelift features that I know some people have been wanting for a really long time. But other than that, I don't know what else, if anything, is coming. I made a video a week ago about the things that I would like to see. If there's stuff that you would like to see, we can kind of have a discussion over that. But I don't know. Give me 1 second. I need to move the chat down because I'm staring through my camera, the second camera here. I love the Mini Freak because of that. You have a hardware synth, the sequencer, and MIDI controlling capabilities. Does the sequencer of the Mini Freak have per step offset, like micro timing? I'm curious. So yeah, along with that though, with this guy, this thing is just awesome. We can pretty much make whatever we want as far as an FM synth out of this, and I'm so excited about this. I didn't think that I was going to be able to figure this out, and yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of geeking out over it. Yeah, let me know. I'm curious. That might be something that I might consider in the future if you can. All right, I'm gonna bypass both of these. We're gonna pull up an LFO. Wait, data? Envelope? Shaper? Where's curves and stuff? I really need to memorize this drop down menu. Gain, volume. Minifreak sequence is pretty cool and very creative. Yeah, you can just click the step and shift like you would the whole sequence, and it only shifts the step. Man, that's really cool. That's low key a game changer for me. I don't know if I'm going to pick one up, but I will say that that's kind of cool. Add explode to pitches. We're using drum machine. It's so tedious having to manually create multiple tracks after making a drum bounce. Also groove pulls. Fucking Reaper has it. You do know that Bitwig has like built-in groove though, right? Like custom groove. Spice and dice. Marvelous. What is spice and dice? When you say explode to patches, are you talking about like the MPC feature? I don't remember what that is, but I'm curious. Yeah, I could have sworn that this was in envelopes, but I didn't. Oh, here's segments, but where's curves? And why are these separated? LFO, slopes, transfer. That's changed. Weird. There's curve, but curves isn't on this. Oh, here's curves. Why is this different than segments? Okay, sorry. I know where to go now whenever I'm looking for this. Is minifig function where you make a step, then bump the spice and dice knob. It randomizes the length, velocity, and other stuff per step, but is non-destructive. Is there, so there's an undo button on there? Say if you have a drum pattern with drum machine and want to extract the individual layers, hats into their own tracks, you could mix it differently. So it's like a stem, it's like stems out, right? But except for just drums. Or I'm guessing what it would be is it would take the MIDI. If the MIDI is attached to a pitch, then it would change whatever, anything that has a different pitch would become its own track. I think that's probably what that means now that with how you describe it. Did you know that, and just for like no undo button, which I know that it's not as convenient, but as opposed to having to bounce everything out, did you know that you could just do this? So what I do is like, let's say I make a drum pattern. Um, actually, this isn't the most elegant solution, but just as a means of like, hey, here's a practical thing. What I do is I don't even do that, to be honest. Oh shit, sorry. You can just do this. Pop, you are a few minutes behind, I think. But yeah, so the way that I work this is like, let's say I've got right. Let's just do something really stupid like this. Right? What I do is I just go 2, 3, and then I'll solo whatever I want to extract. So if I want this to be the kick, I'll solo the kick. If I want this to be the snare, I'll solo the snare. If I want this to be the hat, I'll solo the hat. And so now it's kind of the same thing. So maybe we need the hat on this. Kick is soloed. Right? And then you can come in here and you can either delete everything or you can, you know, do your thing with however you want this to. Yeah. So that's just how I would do it. I don't really work with MIDI. I usually only work with audio anyways, but I do see the appeal. My big thing that I've actually been figuring out with this stuff. Oh, actually, I need to write this down because I actually have a sick tutorial that I need to make. If stepwise is not fixed, I actually have a hack. So I'm going to show you right now, but and it's not the most elegant, but it is something that you can use if you're trying to do like the per step offset. So one of the biggest qualms that I have with the stepwise is that you don't have per step offset, right? So while I do have this ungodly thing, I'm just going to delete that and then get out of this. There we go. So while you do have you can theoretically do this with steps, which is what I did, which is really annoying. But because what you have to do is you have to change the individual momentary steps of each one on this, and then you also have to make sure that it's aligned with the clock and whatever. I've got a much better solution. What you can do is you can actually put a stepwise on your kicks. So I can go stepwise, right? And now, no matter what, let me clear this. If I go clear, oh, in theory, if I put a kick here and I put a kick here and I put a kick here and I put a kick here, or whatever. Let me get out of this and just play this. Okay, I guess that doesn't work. I thought it would, but I thought that you could just put a per step thing on here. Or what you could do is set all of these to the same thing. So this is your really unelegant solution, but it does work because you at least have 8 steps or 16 steps that you can modify with up to 8 different timings, I guess. So if these are all set to C1, kind of like so, and you put a kick here, and this one is late, I guess you can also make this one late or whatever, then you can actually put this on there, hey crazy, and this should fire off. We need to set this to 16ths. 16ths. Which this is, yeah, working on this is a bit clunky. It's not my favorite, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Let me just change this to be a little bit faster. That's the big point of this. But now, right? And so you can change the timing of these if you want. And then what you can do is you can grab this and go to the snares and do that. But like I said, it's kind of annoying because you're going to have however many of these that you want. But when it comes into percussion and stuff, like that can actually be super helpful. Or if you only have, you know, a couple of percussive stuff or percussive things, then you can separate the drum machines from kicks and snares, and then instead put a whole stepwise on the next drum machine, and then just make sure that none of these are interfering with each other to create a pattern. But yeah, do you see why that's kind of annoying to work with? And what I find interesting is that I was actually even messing with the steps from Ableton yesterday. There's no, like, none of these sequencers have this. Why is this a big deal? Because drums. Attles, sorry. So if you take a look at Atlas, and I've told them about this, if we go to the sequencer here, you do have nudge, which I guess is cool, but you don't have per step nudge. You only have nudge the whole thing. So if we go on to this and we go, I don't even remember how to do this thing. There should be a thing that says advanced from browser variation. Oh, it'll create a thing for you. Yeah, there's a way to, like, here we go. Yeah, so you can nudge the whole thing, but there's not a per step. If we look at XO, another great drum thing, whatever. You only have nudging to the entire track. It's like, what the heck? Why? Why? So, yeah. There are some other things with this. Like, you can do micro timing with certain things, but I'm kind of curious how that's going to pan out. So, I don't know. Let's say I have a drum machine. And then let's just grab a hat. And then let's just do a hat pattern. Or rather, let's do a stepwise. Trying to think about if there's some other MIDI tools outside of steps that can kind of give this to us. So what if I wanted this step to be late, right? Let me see. What happens if I do humanize? Yeah, I guess that's something that you can do, is you can grab an LFO. And just make this really slow. Like half note. So if we look at this and we pull this out, compared to this, let me turn this off and then go bounce. Yeah. Or shit, what I should have done is, let me go bounce. And then let me turn this off and then let me go bounce. Yeah, so that's a different timing on these. Which it really looks like it's only at the beginning. But even still, having something like this gives you a much different groove with that. So I need to take a mental screenshot of that, because that could be something that we could utilize in order to get a more interesting sound. Like, I went through all the trouble of making all of those steppers here with that, but it might just benefit me more to put a humanize inside of a drum rack and like save that as a template, to where I can either do an LFO or I can do steps on the humanize. It's still kind of inaccurate though, I guess. I would think. I don't know. Let me try this one more time, but with the early as well. Actually like that, yeah. You can modulate this, which is what I have done in the past. But I actually think that it's easier to just use the humanize thing. I'm kind of curious if there's anything else that we can do with this. There's a dribble, which is kind of cool. Note delay, note filter, note length, note receiver, note repeat. We do note quantize. Yeah, maybe not. That would fix it. Okay, sorry. I got distracted. Anyways, this is stuff that's important to me. I still would probably rather just use, what's it called? Bitwig's thing. But if you have something like a hat rack, excuse me, kind of like this, and you set this all to be on random, but then you have a humanize on this. set this to 16th notes. Randomize that. Let's make it bipolar. Maybe on 8th notes. Bought rolling sampler because, yeah, dude, rolling sampler is the shit. Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of something that you can consider. Although that's not playing. Oh, that's why. Yeah, it's still not playing. Still though, this is a really easy way to come up with hat patterns. Yeah, interesting. I'm going to save this project and I'm going to call this loop maker because I might come back to this later and do some stuff with that. But anyways, yeah, let's get into the hardware stuff. I'm mostly going to be over here on the right side. But what I will do is I can make this a little bit bigger. Kind of like so, because you can't really see anything that's going on there anyways. And I can do a few things. One is I'm going to pull all of this stuff, or rather what I'm going to do is make a new thing, new project. And let's pull up an instance of the diggy tone, diggy digi doggy tone. And then we're also going to pull up an instance of the analog heat because we're going to need both. And yeah, this is going to be fun. So this is being bypassed. We're going to send everything through here first. And what I think I'm going to do is set that here. Doggy tone. Yeah. Okay, just trying to see if that's actually doing stuff. It is. I forgot. I need to turn that on. Sick. And then I'm going to put the analog heat on the return channel. There we go. That should be a lot louder now. Be careful. Here we go. Dope. So maybe what I can do is... Nah, I think it's fine. I don't think anybody cares anyways, to be honest. I'm going to pull this up so you guys can kind of have some idea of what I'm doing with this. And then Have you seen the Mr. Krabs thing where he's like, oh my god, I'm about to buy. Well, what I mean by no one cares is like you're just gonna see what I'm doing with the Diggy Tone, and you can watch through the thing. No, no, it's already sampled. Um, well, do what you want. I don't give a shit. Oh my god, I'm about to bust. It's like all over Instagram. It's pretty fucking funny. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing on this now is setting this up to where fuck, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Yeah, whatever. If you want to, do you guys want to see me working with this physically? Maybe I suppose I can nudge this into the screen. Trying not to move a bunch of shit, but I think that the limited desk space is imminent. There you go. You can at least see what I'm doing on the screen, right? You can at least, this is at least visible. Let me see if this helps. I don't think that's helpful. Is this better? Or do you like this better? Okay, we're at C1. We're going to change this to D sharp 1. And now what we will do is we need to adjust this to where we're going to give ourselves a little bit more of an amplitude on this. Because it's still pretty quiet. Okay, so I'm going to turn this into a Reese. Oops, I think I just made my voice louder. Can you all hear that though? This is okay? Alright. So we're going to go in here and we're going to change this out into a different filter. We're going to change this into an EQ and we're going to make this into a notch. And we're going to come here, we're going to make this into a filter as well. Set this to reset, post filter. So now we're going to come into the mods here and we're going to apply this to some of the filtering. It's moaning. That's funny. I think that we just need to do the other filter here. And we need to adjust the width. And we're just going to set this here and make it kind of slow. I don't have anything that I can use on my effects. I think I can set it up with the Stream Deck, but I do have sound effects. I don't know, I personally find those to be annoying most of the time. Well, that's why I do sound design. Okay, so we're going to offset this just a little bit. Hey, Jethro. Long time no see. Maybe something else we can do is we can apply this to the harmonics. Set this to trigger. Apply just a little bit of chorus, a little bit of overdrive to this. It's kind of what I've been doing lately, to be honest. Okay, dope. So now that we have that, we can get into this guy here, and what we want to do is create a new patch. And so first things first, we need to turn this on. And what I'm going to do is build just a single chain on here. You can do frequency splitting on this, but I don't think that it's really worth it. You checking on me, bro? We'll check this out. No, I'm just kidding. So what I'm going to do is we're going to grab an input here. We're going to go into interface, audio input, go done, and then we need an output here. So interface modules, audio output, done. We're going to need a filter. So maybe an SV filter. And we are going to, nope, multi-filter. I'm going to change this into a bandpass. Then what we're going to do is we're going to delete this. And I'm going to actually make this very clean. So let me start over. Sorry, I was just thinking about organization and stuff. No. So the way that this works is you have to have an input and an output, and then you have to go into routing and like physically connect stuff to it. But the problem is that once something is connected, the only way to reroute things is to delete the path. And so that's kind of annoying about it. That being said, what we will do is we will create another we'll create another page here. And on this page, this can be the high pass to where everything will be going into what we need. And so we can change this into the interface module and go to the audio output as such. So now we have page 1, 2, and 3. Or 0, 1, and 2, and 3. So on page 1, or rather 3, what I'll do is I'll grab an audio module here. And this should be like a sound splitter or a mixer, I think is what it's called. Audio multiplying. Audio mixer. And what's cool about this is you can actually set, how many bands? You can set up to eight different bands on this, which is pretty freaking crazy. So this is like a built-in snap heap. So we're only going to use 2 bands because I'm going to have a band pass on the low end and then a high pass on the high end. And so now this should make a little bit more sense to where I go done. You can see here that we have input 1, input 2, and then input out, right? What I will do is most likely have a master filter on here. So we'll go filters, where are you at? Multi-filter. Yes. Low pass. Yes. And what we can do is, okay, that's just a single one. So we can route that to here. And then we can just route the output of this to the outside of this. So it says multi-filter out. I know that you can't read that, but now you'll see that these are connected. And so this is here. And so on the second page, or rather this page, yeah, we'll do this page and then this page. This will be all of our low pass stuff. So, or sorry, our band pass stuff. We'll go audio module, audio modules. We'll go into a band pass, kind of like so. Then we'll take the output of this, we need to hit done, and send this into the input of this. And now you can see that this is gonna kind of go. This isn't gonna make sound for a little bit, and I know that you can't see the screen, but come on, the screen is tiny, so give me a small break. I'm gonna try to talk you through what I'm doing here. With that being said, we now have an audio input that is going into a band pass. And now what we need to do, because this is being routed, we also need to route that into this as well, is we can go to the second page. And on here, we can grab another filter, but this is going to be a high pass. And so what's cool about this is that we've got a band pass on basically like our low mids or whatever, and we can do a lot of the colorization and stuff, and then we can pretty much just like distort the high end over this or whatever, and send that in. And so now we hit done, and we go to the first page. We're going to grab this, go into there, and we're going to grab that, go into there. And so now our inputs are going to both here, that's going there, that's going there. And so we've successfully split this. Now the reason why I haven't connected this into the mixer yet is because I haven't added the effects that I want to yet. And so that's kind of where the interpolation comes in, of having to, you know, be a little bit clever about how you manipulate this. But because we have that, we can go in and do something like a comb filter. So we can go effect modules. I think there's a comb filter anyways. We can go flanger. So we'll hit done. We'll go to the output of this, connect that to the flanger. What else can we add to this? Envelope filter, ring mod, vibrato, chorus, phaser, room reverb, gate, compressor, overdrive, delay with mod. I'm just reading these out to you all. Control modules, we'll do that in a second. Audio modules, audio panner, pitch shifter, mixer, inverter, noise, bit crusher, buffer delay, looper, granular, bit modulator, diffuser, and sampler. Okay, so we're going to keep this relatively simple. What I'm going to do is I am going to add just a small chorus to this. So I'm going to take the output of this, connect that. Oh wait, I need to hit done. Take the output of this, connect this. Is this a stereo input? No. So now we'll take this one And this is going to go into channel L. Take that one. Go into channel this one. So these two are connected. Now on the high band here, the only thing that I'm probably going to add is maybe just like a touch of noise or something, or maybe just like a very subtle thing. But we can go into a new thing here and add in, let's just say, let's go into OD and distortion. So we'll just apply just a smidge of top end distortion to this. And now we are going to connect the output of that. And we go here. And we'll go to the next page. And now we need to connect it to this one. We'll go here. Now we need to connect it to that one. Oh, I think I need to hold this. So go here. Boom. There we go. Boom. Boom. Or maybe I did the wrong thing. Here. Audio mixer. Gain. To audio in. Audio. I think that worked. Is this a mod out? Yeah, distortion audio out. To there. To distortion audio thing to here. It's kind of annoying to set up, but that should work. So now, yep, okay. So it's almost there. Not quite though. Now what we need to do is, I think that I'm just going to, for whatever reason, this isn't doing what I want it to. So we're going to delete that. Then, oh shit, wait. Thankfully there's an undo button on here. Because what I remembered was that we also had the filter of this here, and that's why that was sounding like that. However, we do have a ton of distortion on this, and we don't really want that much. I actually don't think that this is being output now that I look at it. So whatever, we'll get rid of that. We'll do some master distortion on the top end of this anyways. So we can go into this and go trash it. Take this and go here. And it looks like this still isn't showing these outputs here for some reason. So let me try this again. I'll delete this. And on here, we'll go to audio modules. We'll go back to the mixer. Two colors. This one. That one. On here, we'll go this one. And on that one, we'll go that one. I guess I did do it right. It's just not showing up for some reason. Okay. Oh, I need to tell that where to go. I need to tell that to go here. So now what we also have is modulators that we're going to go back into playing with these guys. And so that's crazy. I don't know why that's oscillating. That's insane, though. Wow, what is happening? Maybe there's just too much distortion going on the top end of this? I don't really know, but that was interesting. Or maybe there's some kind of resonance that's happening over on this as well. Multi-filter. This is a high pass, right? So if we set this to here, we reduce the Q. Can adjust that. There we go. Okay. So we can come back now and reintroduce some of the mix on this. Oh, it's the flanger. But why? You know, we could just lean into this and make something really interesting. So let's do that. There we go. Hey, Shane. Yeah, it looks like there's some kind of feedback or something that's still being sent into this. So, which is really strange. All right, so let me back up. I think that we can use this to our advantage. I'm going to turn the mix off on both the chorus and this. Because for whatever reason, that's just kind of going haywire. And I'm not really sure what happened with the routing. But what we can do now is on this guy, we'll add an LFO. So we'll go control module, LFO. I'm just going to set this to like a triangle. And we'll set this from -1 to 1. We can go done. And now what I can do is on this, we can set that here and adjust the output to not be super insane. So maybe like this much, and set this down to be kind of slow. And then continue to reduce the range on this to like maybe 20%, maybe 17%. There we go. So now that's kind of getting closer to the ballpark range of what we want to be sweeping, because we want this to still be in the bass range. There we go. We can bring this back up a little bit. Bring this back up a little bit. I wonder if it's because of the width on here. I'm gonna go into the flow here and turn the compressor on. It was crazy. Can add just a little bit of this here. So we'll put just a bit of chorus on this. Then on here, there we go. Pretty cool. Okay, so on this, no, yeah, that seems to get louder the more width that I add to this. We're gonna go into the next page here, which this is just a high pass. And so we're gonna set this at like 3K and turn the resonance down. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe not. Now on this, we've got another filter here. And so we're going to add an LFO to this. And so on the output, we'll change it to, oh wait, I need to edit that to a triangle as well. Then we'll just go done. Set the output here. Now we can see what this is doing. We don't need it to be that fast. But now you can see that this is opening, and really the big thing with this is that even though I'm only using simple shapes, you can actually get a lot done with just like straight up LFOs. That's something that I've realized. And because of that now, we should have something that's a little bit more complex. That's pretty sick. Let me turn the compressor off, see if we can get just a cleaner sound, and then I'm going to play with some of the distortion types on here. I'm going to go back to clean boost. We can go back to this and play with some of the things on this now. I can set up a true Reese, so let me turn this off for now. turn that off. I'm also going to turn this off for a second. That was crazy. What the fuck is going on here? I don't know, but that's really cool. Jeez. Just kind of looking for a saw wave here. What I find to be interesting about this is this is off, but this is still not making a okay, that's why. So now I'm kind of just fucking with this and seeing what I can get out of it. Okay. Oh, I forgot that we're doing that. There we go. Let's try that. See if we can add like an OTT to this or something. I still want like a really hard sweeping sound. And so that's what I'm trying to find right now with this. Some really cool sounds, but All right, let's try this again, maybe with a different patch and a different sound. So we'll just put this onto, what's it called? Onto the next one. It's going to take a little bit of practice, but I did it right the first 2 times. But sometimes it's just one of those things. Okay. So that was the original sound that we were working with. Let's go ahead and try a new sound on this first. Let's go into just a traditional synth. So we'll go into wave tone. There we go. Which, by the way, the diggy tone just makes fucking crazy breezes. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to work backwards now. So I'm going to try the analog heat and see what this sounds like with everything. There we go. Okay. Trying to see if I can create a flanger with this chorus, but it's not really looking like it. Kind of. Oh, maybe not. There we go. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay. So now that we have that, we can go back and try to reprogram this. Give me just 1 second. Hold on. Hold on. 2 seconds. Need to check something. Okay. Back to what we were doing. All right. So now that we have this set up, let's go ahead and reactivate this and try to get this to do what we want it to one more time. So it's not going to make any sound. We have to put an input in. Audio input. Done. Page, page, page. Audio output. Done. Page, page, page. Low band, high band, connector. So we'll put the connector here. Audio modules, audio mixer. We'll label this as Lime. Done. Okay, sorry. Let's go here, and we're going to go to Filter. Multi-filter. Or what is SV filter? High pass, band pass, free change, smooth. Go multi-filter. Hi, Jersey. And we'll set this to a bandpass. Next page. We're going to go into this, and we are going to grab another one, multi-filter, set this to a high pass. Done. On this high pass here, we're going to grab an effect. Trying to think about what's some other stuff that I can put on here. Yeah, maybe we can do like a small reverb. We can do like reverb light, but make it kind of small. We can do cabinets in. That could be interesting. Maybe just a tiny amount of fuzz. There's different models here. E-fuzzy, burly, scoopy, ugly. We'll go with the E-fuzzy. And then now we just set this up here. Go boom. Boom. And that's routed. Let's take a step back. On this, we'll add a phaser. Channels in out, control rate, number of stages. Oh, that's cool. You can have up to 6 passes. Oh, up to 8. I think we're good with 4 for the phaser. That's generally what I do. Phaser. We can have another filter on here. So we can go audio module, multi-filter, and set this to a bell, I think. Yeah, so this can act as a notch. Go done. Then we can have a flanger one more time. And hopefully that will fix the issue that we were running into for whatever reason. Cool. So phaser input, we're going to go here. Boom. It's phaser audio output. We're going to go into the filter. Filter audio in. Multi-filter audio out to the flanger. And now we should be able to connect everything. So we're going to go here and set it to that. Grab that. Set it to that. Dope. Now we're going to grab this and set it to that. Now we'll grab this and set the fuzz to, wait. Fuck. I don't remember what I sent this to. Shit. Okay, because I'm wondering if it will double it if I do that. I don't think so. Whatever. But that should be what we're looking for. And now what we wanted to do is take this and go boom, boom. And so now this should be working. I think. Nope, did something wrong. Because these two say audio mixer. Oh, this is audio mixer in 1 and then audio mixer in 2. And then this is the gain of these. Oh, okay. So what I was doing was setting this to a left and right channel. That's why that wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. That makes a lot of sense now. Pink, magenta. What was the color that I had on this just now? I think it was peach, right? Or lime? I think it was lime. Okay. Let's try this one more time. So we'll go here, and then we'll go here. And now we will go to this guy, set it to that one. Then we'll go to this guy and set it to that one. And so now, if I hit this one, there's the routing. If I hit that one, there's the routing. Okay, I think I did it right this time. Hopefully. And now I need to route this. But it doesn't look like that's doing the thing. So why? Why? Auto filter in. Reverb light. Now with this filter, decay time, we want this to be really small. Really tiny mouse mix. With the filter over here, or with the fuzz, we don't want that to be super large. Filter frequency. So that should at least be outputting, but I'm almost wondering if here to here, here to here, here to here, here to there. Okay. Oh. Duh. Okay. So everything was routed except for the input. Nice. Boom. I'm gonna go here. Route that there. Boom. Route that there. Now this should work. Sick. Okay. Dude, that flanger sounds so good on this. Okay. So let's go back to this stage now. And we need an LFO. I don't know what, well, actually, no, yeah, I do know what I did wrong last time. So we'll go triangle, output, -1 to 1, done. And then we're going to set this here to this guy. Make it a really small amount. Hey, Levi, what's up, dude? Long time no see. It looks like I set this to a ramp. Yeah, I did. Wanted that to be a triangle. Done. Oh, you know, same old. Okay, so now on here we also have a notch, so we can turn this all the way down. And then we can do another LFO here to sweep this. So we'll go control module, same thing. Instead of a square, we'll go triangle. We'll go done. We need to find the cutoff here, so we'll go to this, onto the cutoff, make that a small amount. And then that can kind of just notch in between that area and kind of have fun with that. So all of that is actually coming through the Zoya. It's pretty sick. So now we can adjust the flanger here, set that to a really slow amount, so that way it's just acting more as a comb filter. Nice. So that takes care of the mid to bottom end. And now what we can do is we can start to focus on the high band here. So we can have something that's like, say, from 1300 up. It would be nice if there was a way to solo this stuff, but it's okay. This is a little bit more standard. We just need to apply a small amount of mix on here. And then on the input gain, I guess we can turn this up a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is, since we have everything where we want it to be, I'm going to delete this very quickly, and I'm going to add a master filter to this. I'm trying to see if any of these have different poles on them, but it doesn't really look like it. Low pass, done. Okay, I guess not. That's okay. Interface, audio output, done. So we're going to route this now, and then we'll route this to the stereo out. And now we have a master filter that we can manipulate as well. So dope. Let's go ahead and throw an LFO on that. And there's other stuff on here, like there's also like random and whatnot, but I kind of just want it to be something that I can adjust as opposed to having just random sounds on here. But we'll set this to the cutoff. And let's see what this is doing. I mean, that's not bad for just a little effect pedal. Oh my god. Holy shit. If you turn the analog heat off, that gets like 3 times louder. There is a little bit of noise floor that's coming on through this, so that's something to be aware of. But yeah, wow. Let's turn this up a little bit. Let's back off of this just a little bit. Sick. And then also, since I'm getting a little bit more from this, we can adjust this as well. Maybe just a little bit more on here. So this is kind of just sweeping through. Maybe here. Turn the resonance up. Let's say like 30%. And there's a lot of fine tuning with this, of course, but I mean, how cool is that? Like you could use any source, but really we're getting all of those effects from the pedal itself. Like, I don't even have any filters going on here yet. And so now that we do that, or now that we do have that though, we can add the filters and stuff to get more modulation and whatnot. So let's go here, we'll set this to the filter cutoff. Yes, set that there, set that to trigger. Nice. It's getting there. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go reset, post filter, and then on the mods here with the other two, I'm going to set this on the filter. One of these is going to go down, so that would be the bass. I'm going to go yes, set that to go down, set that to trigger. Then on this one, we're going to do that as well, but we're going to go into the, I always forget what it's called, width. And set this one to up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to the bass filter of this. Just kind of look at what's going on here. I'm going to make this a little bit slower. I'm also going to push this up just a bit more to like 25%. I'm going to back off of the resonance of this just a little bit as well. This is so loud. So now what I'm trying to do is just create a relationship with all of these to get them to So I'm setting an envelope follower on the reverb now. Yeah, guys, this is all with hardware. It's pretty fucking sick. There's a little bit of cleanup to be done with it, and, you know, probably, again, some OTT I think would be good for this. Maybe a gate because of the noise floor. But, I mean, shoot, that's pretty dope. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Um, I wonder if there's some other stuff that we can do to this on the later pages, or sorry, at the end of this chain, because it would be nice. Actually, let me see how we're doing on CPU. So with all of those effects that we have on here, this is under 68%. So we do have a little bit of space to maybe add 1 or 2 more modules. But yeah, pretty cool, right? Just being able to make neuro shit on just hardware. Jersey is trying to climb into my lap so hard. Hi there. Hey. I know what you want. You guys want to see something? Do you want, watch this. Do you want Jersey, do you want would you like, do you want a snack? Do you want a snack? You want a snack, Jersey? Well, speak. Speak. Do you want a snack? Speak. Speak. Good girl. Oh, good job. Oh, we're getting somewhere. All right, I'll be right back. Give me just a couple of minutes. Good girl. She spoke. Come on. Let's get started. We've got a pretty good relationship. She loves us. And I'm glad, because we saved her from the shelter, and it was weird. Like, she was very sweet when we first got her. Obviously pretty timid with all that and the adjustments and stuff, but you know what I mean? I guess that's just what happens when you adopt a dog and their personality comes out after knowing them for a while. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna give her one more thing. Give me 1 second. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll make her wait. I also have these yak chews for her to keep her from chewing on other shit. But we just gave her one and she just finished it, so maybe I should wait and give her one every 2 weeks or something. I don't know. Yeah, this fucking took 2 hours to design, but it was pretty cool, pretty worth it. Let me save this now and go here. Go shift, boom. Preset 61 saved. Patch name. And what's cool is, like, you can't see it, but there's actually letters here, so I can just type this in, which is kind of nice. So we can call this in EUR0. S space 1. And then I can hit this guy. Oops. Boom. Would you like to save the patch? Yes. So now I have this saved as a preset. And anytime that I want to do some hardware base, I can just kind of pull that up, and then, you know, we got the thing, which is pretty cool. Nice. And so now that we have that saved, what we can actually do now is let me save this patch um, for this, and we'll go, yes, crisp acrobacy. Yes. We'll save this as a base. Expressive, evolving, texture, complex, soft, vintage, hard. And then we'll hit save. Okay, so now that I have this, we can actually go back into here and I can start changing some of these parameters. So for one, we can actually go back into the FM tone if we want to and start to play with different algorithms on this. Maybe I can back off of input gain on this. Try to make this a little bit brighter. No, I'm not. I'm just kind of doing whatever. But I am clipping? Really? Test? I guess I am. Clipping. Test. Is this the sweet spot? Is that better? That should be better, I think. That's dope. Let me try a different key. We've been chilling on this Phrygian for quite some time. Let me try like, I don't know. Let's go G. Harmonic minor. Yeah, it sounds super thick, almost to a fault. Let's really lean into that detuning here. Maybe not. Let's Pull back on the distortion on this. Maybe even on the master distortion, because we might not really need it. That sounds pretty sick. Give me 1 second. Yeah, that's pretty dope. What sounds good for dinner? Maybe Mediterranean veggies with hummus and a bit of chicken. That sounds pretty good. Okay, let me adjust the reverb on this. That's fucking awesome. Let me get that recorded. Why does it say that it's not charging? Okay, give me 1 sec. Let me see if this is going to totally destroy my computer. Still working? Well, that's interesting. I guess I didn't even need that for charging. I just needed everything to be hooked up. Huh. Well, I'll keep an eye on this because I have all this stuff that's connected right now. And if I'm not charging, if I'm just using this as a dock, and it's connected to the computer, hopefully the power supply on that will be enough to just make sure that everything's connected, but we'll see what's going on with that. But apparently it didn't really affect this at all. There is this little glitch thing that I've noticed since I've plugged in the USB dock, but other than that, it's been okay. This says reverb light, but it's still like super duper insane. So this is just the sound by itself. Which actually, that still sounds pretty cool. Maybe I should save that too. Just as a starter. Yes. 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 Because now I don't have to remake this over again, but yeah, cool. Yeah, that's pretty dope. Sweet. So that's how we make some neuro stuff on the Empress Zoya. I'll probably do like a dedicated video on this in the future, but I wanted to just kind of take the time to put that together and just see if I can do something cool like that. With that being said, let's go ahead and do something different now. I guess what we could also do is, I don't know, is there anything that you all want to see? Anything that you all want to see within Bitwig? I've been having a lot of fun just messing with all of my hardware lately. It's been pretty nice to be able to just turn stuff on like that, or, you know, I could do this and then, you know, combine or make a completely different effect with this guy. You know, have something like floating seeds. Turn that on, turn this on, and just create shit. I think what I'll do is I'm going to go to the presets here. I'm going to save this as a preset. Yes. Is there a way to auto name? Oh, really? Wow. Cool. Uh, so now we'll go to load preset and then we'll just go here. So now this is new, or a new instance of this. You can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just manipulating the analog heat and kind of resetting this into a fresh patch. That's super sick. I really like this noise right here. Sorry, just fiddling with shit. That's sick. That's actually a really cool idea right there. Hey, Arstarchus? Hey, babe. Oh. Corey's trying to handle Jersey, and she's just going ham on her. Jersey's going ham on Corey, that is. Dude, loopers are so cool. No, Jersey, don't try to come and tackle me. I'm not as nice as Mom.
Stop it. No, stop. I've been over this with her twice. Stop.
Well, baby, she's a dog. She's...
Stop. No jumpies. Oh. You mad you can't jump? Stop it. Okay. Good job.
Just tuned in. What's good? Just doing it. Yeah, we're just doing hardware stuff right now.
Stop. Good job. Stop. No, stop it. Good job. She did it. Good job.
Nope, you can't jump in my lap right now.
Stop. No jumpies.
She's like, she's giving you the punchy. She's like,
Stop. No.
Hey, that's enough.
Why is she yelling at me?
Hey, because she wants to play. Look how excited she is. She wants to play and she wants to smack and to play bite and to. There you go. Just gotta kind of give her a little smacky. Can Bitwig Connect communicate with the hardware via CV and MIDI? I mean, like sending an IMSEC signal source modulation. Yeah, it can. These inputs and outputs here on the front are interchangeable between either inputs as sound sources or as CV inputs. Hi.
I'm taking that.
Nap time. Jersey wore Corey out. Poor Corey. So what you can do is you can use a MIDI converter on here and just connect this into a DIN cable and then connect that into like a MIDI in here, or there's an expression control on this. There's also MIDI in on this. And then you can have a CV thing connect via that. But I probably won't be doing much of that personally, except for maybe when the Waldorf Iridium Core comes in. Just because whenever I'm doing sound design and all that, most of the time I'm not trying to do sound design while I'm already working on a track, or at least if I am going to do it, it's as little as possible. Is this not charging? Hold on one sec, guys. What the fuck is going on here? Here's a POV view. No, this isn't charging. %. Now it's charging. Okay, what the fuck? Just kidding. Yeah. So there's that. But yeah, just kind of for the most part, I just do sound design inside of the boxes or something, or even when I'm doing sound design on the computer, like with the DAW, I generally don't try to like make everything all synced up and stuff, because like if I were to try to take any of this stuff and turn it into an idea, it would most likely become or get into repitch mode anyway. So I am usually like the more messed up the better, right? So if we do this and we set this into repitch mode, you know, like that's a really stupid idea, but it's still an idea regardless. So if we were to do something like this, you know, that's so cool. The bandwidth limit is around 8 sources if not converting to MIDI signal. Iridium core is dope. Looks like a killer synth. I don't really know, to be honest. I don't mess with modular a whole lot. Um, but I will say that yeah, there's 4 inputs. There's one XLR or like multi-purpose like XLR slash balanced, unbalanced. There's another 1/4 inch input. There's 2 inputs on the front with this. Then there's like 10 outputs from here. So there's 2 1/4 inch on the back, or there's actually 6 1/4 inch. Six. Wait, there's 8 outputs on the back. Because yeah, so 4 inputs, 12 outputs. I'm sorry. Alckemy can't count. But if we pick this up very gently, you kind of look at that, then here's everything. And then there's 2 dedicated MIDI ins and outs within this here. But those are the 3.8 millimeter jacks, I believe. So, but yeah, I mean, the big thing with this, anyways, is just having a multi-interface thing that you can control the volume with. Also within Bitwig, you can scroll on here. This is probably my favorite feature on this. I have to get used to not doing this though, because when you tap it, see how it turns purple? Well, sometimes it turns purple. You can also hit that, but you can zoom in and out like that to where it turns purple, make it turn back. But this is really nice. Although, oh, it's a double tap. Okay, so yeah, if you double tap, that'll change it to that. If you just do a regular tap, that'll do that. So, sorry, still getting used to this. But this is nice. This is super nice. Set that here, go like that, and then you can set the playhead to go wherever you want this to be. That's one thing I think that actually I don't think that we can do that. You can change where this is up here. Hold on. Let me get rid of this. So if you look here, you can change where this is supposed to go, but I don't think that you can do the starting point from there. So while you can adjust from this, I don't think that it's going to play from that position, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, never mind. It will. Yeah, that's dope. Transport controls work, metronome, automation, all that stuff. And then like the quality of life factors that this has, especially over the I upgraded from the Volt 276, which did have the compressor built in, but this has dimming on it. It also has mono. So if I want to like do a mono check, I can do that. And then I have like just very quick adjustments to all of this stuff. So I think that this is actually a really handy thing if you embrace it. If you don't, then I could see it being passable, but I don't know. I think it's pretty dope. And then also within this, if I want to adjust other things like the EQ low here, I can just kind of go like that and have very fine control over the adjustments that I want to do. I am curious though, like, I think that only works with knobs, but if I have something like polymer, and let's say I wanted to adjust something like this. Yeah, so that still doesn't adjust, unfortunately, which I don't know how they would do that anyways, just because this is only unidimensional, but you can at least do stuff like that with knobs. Double tapping resets it. How if I do this? Nothing. But yeah. Oh, that holds it. That's what that does. So if I do this and I hold the Bitwig button, then I can kind of control that one thing even if my mouse goes somewhere else. Or I can also do two things at once. So this is actually really good for automation because you can see how I'm able to adjust both of these, which you're going to have to kind of get crafty with it, but yeah, interesting. Yeah. Sorry, just kind of having fun here. So yeah, that's kind of it. Does anybody have any questions about anything? I know that I had a couple cables come in, but I haven't set up the routing on this yet. And actually, I don't know if I can't. Sorry, I'm just thinking if I have. Yeah, now that I think about it, I should be able to do that. This is cool. Some physical controls would feel nice when working with the DAW. I would use that for modular if I had a modular system connect, but I'm broke and just brought a laptop. Yeah, I mean, like all of this stuff is definitely a luxury, you know. But I also consider like I've been doing music production for 12, 13 years now. And so at a certain point, you know, you either just stick with what you have or you invest. And for me, I'm kind of just trying to explore new sounds, new stuff, and also have new content for the channel to kind of grow with me. And so doing things like the hardware and just making different sounds and coming up with cool and interesting packs, all that stuff is kind of where my angle is at right now. Like, yeah, if I wanted to, I could just do everything inside of Faceplant, but I think for me, I think that there's an appeal to hardware. For one, at least I think so. I love watching hardware videos where people are doing cool shit. I also like seeing where people create, you know, ideas or starters and stuff using limited tools because like obviously there's a lot that you can explore within just this setup here, but it still has a lot of limitations as a means of how far you can push it in a DAW. Um, but yeah, you know, and now like it's all kind of trying to make sense within the integration aspect because what I have on this stuff is a way or a template now that I can easily access getting this stuff turned on. So for example, if I go to a new project here, new, all I have to do is put an instrument in here. So if I were to grab, let's say that polymer, right? And I mute this and then just turn this on. Then I can just turn the pedals on and And then what's cool is I also have a free routing chain, because if I were to throw the analog heat effects on here, then I can get the distortion and stuff through this. So you can pull up a preset on the analog heat. Magnetic Dreams. Yes. I don't know what this is going to do, but so we've got something like that, and then I've also got the pedal turned on. Yeah. And then something that I really like is that at any time I can record a pedal, or I can record this into the pedal, and then use that as a feedback system to buffer into the next thing. So I think actually something that I could do if I wanted to was create another input here. Wait, can I do that? This might be scary, but I think I can. Oh god, yeah, I can. Yeah. Yikes. So I can actually do feedback within this. So if I mute this and like, let me just set this to record. So something kind of like this. Let me change the preset on this to something that's a little bit more of... There we go. That's pretty cool. So now what I'll do is I'll hit the looper. Now that I have this, this is going to loop. And I should probably turn this down. But what I can do is I can turn this on, and this will create a feedback system in this. So I can throw a delay in here now. And now this is feedbacking into this, which is, again, scary, but... Pretty crazy, man. That'll come back in just a sec. And then I can add my third-party effects to this now, too. trippy. See what I'm saying though? So just getting into working on all these things is pretty fun and pretty crazy. Coming up with cool stuff like this is also a lot of fun. So something that I could do is come to 1978 plate and just go press back to continue. Wait. Yeah. So now I've deleted this patch. Jersey, get off of me. Oh, she might need to go out. Almost. Okay, I'll take you out soon. You being good? Look at that face. Look at that face. Okay, get down. Love you, sweet girl. What was I doing? Yeah, so on this, we can create a brand new patch, but what I'm going to do is just a very quick and dirty thing that I like doing. So we can go interface module, audio input, done. Same thing here, audio output, done. We can go to this, go all the way to the bottom where there's a ring modulator, which is pretty sick. And then we can also grab a buffer looper, I think. Although I haven't figured out how to mix the buffer looper. Sorry, buffer delay. I can set that to like 8 buffers. It says 9, but that's fine with me. So we can set the input to that. Then set the output to this. And now, whenever we play stuff again, we can also grab... Oh, wait. Almost. Get rid of that. Audio interface. Audio output. Done. Go there. Now we go from here to here. Are there any controls on this? You would think so. I guess not. But what we can do is we can grab an LFO on this. We can go random. Go done. And set the frequency of this to here. Well, that's kind of it, right? Is just trying to get like experimental stuff into this. I don't even remember if this is playing anymore or not, to be honest. Did I stop the recording? No, it's still doing stuff. Or maybe it's not. Okay, so let's get some recording in there. I mean, both are fine, right? Yeah, so you can get some sick shit in that. So now what we'll do is we'll record this again. Now that should be looping. And then we can kind of just break sounds and stuff with this. I don't think so. Is there? Oh, there is. I didn't know that. What? Bro. Thank you. Dope. I didn't know that you could do that. That makes that's a game changer. Turn this off and see what we're doing. That's sick. This is like super sci-fi. I mean, I could do it, but it's not the funnest. Cool. So now I just have this pulled up, and I don't have to work on that anymore. If I can keep one pedal, what would it be? Can the Zoya do everything that the hologram does? No, I don't think so. I mean, these are the only two pedals that I have. So, if I had to pick one or the other, this one is more versatile. This one is better for melodies and pads and stuff. And so that's kind of what you're looking at here. I mean, the heat wouldn't really be considered a pedal, but I do think that this is... I use the heat more than anything else. Even though these are newer, I still think that the heat is more versatile. Just in the sense that, like, distortion is always my #1 thing that I want. What is making this do this? Oh. But where is it coming from? Oh, from the analog heat. Wait, what? Oh, no. Maybe the Zoya or something has a noise floor on it. Yeah, I'd say it's hard because the Zoya, like, I still haven't fully explored this. But I don't think that the sound quality of this is as good as the microcosm. Even though this has technically more effects and more stuff that you can quote unquote do, yeah, I still think that I would pick the heat. And the other thing about the heat is that it's an interface, and so you can use it as a blockchain for other pedals and stuff, which is what I was doing before I got the Bitwig Connect. Because I had a Volt 274, which only had 2 inputs, and so I had the analog heat connected into itself, which had a return channel in itself, and so the heat was connected to this, and this was going back into the heat, which was really cool. Or I could have gone from the Digitone into this, into this, into that. But now I have a free routing system to where it all kind of just works, you know? I would say, like, I was very, very methodical with what I purchased. The microcosm is something that I've been wanting for years. And with the Zoya, I don't know. Is there another pedal out there that has just as much power or has, like, kind of a routable thing with LFOs and randoms and all that other stuff? Because from what I looked at, there was one thing that was like I was just watching a video on it. I can't remember what it was. But there's not really stuff that has like multi-filter systems that you can put LFOs on and stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's an effects grid, but on a hardware box. This isn't perfect though, by any means. Like, the workflow I can get around on this, but it caps out on CPU pretty early. So if you have like multiple filters and all that, like you can't go as crazy, or I can't go as crazy as I would like to on this. For me personally, for like a patch, I would want this to be like at least 50% more powerful. That's just my own personal, like, my own personal thing with it though. I mean, granted, I think that this thing is like what, 10 years old? And there is also a modular effect version, or sorry, a modular version that's like an actual dedicated modular device. Sorry for the redundancy, but yeah, it still needs some juice. And I think that has the same CPU as this. Because in theory, like, it's crazy. Like, there's all these things built into it. Like, you can have up to 64 different pages. You have like up to 8 different effect splitters and all that. And like, it wants you to explore, but it also does not give you that much to work with when it comes into the processor that's built in within this. So in theory, you could build something super complex. It also has oscillators and stuff built into it, but it just doesn't let you go that far. And that's why like having something that's like a granular effect, that's what this takes care of. A multi-effect tool that has like your phaser, flanger, filter, whatever, that's what this takes care of. Dedicated hardware distortion and also an analog filter, and the effects are okay. I do use them from time to time, but not as much as people think. I definitely don't. I almost never turn the compressor on. I don't like the way that it sounds. And um, yeah, sometimes I use the reverb. The warble is great for lo-fi. The chorus is cool. You can create a flanger with it, sort of. And then all of those actually have filters built into them. So you can have a very complex filter system with them, but they're all like weird bandpass amalgamations. So yeah, in theory, you can get some really cool shit with it. And when I first got the analog heat, we did do some cool stuff with it, but it doesn't have like dedicated multi-step notches and all that other stuff. And I really wish that it did, but I don't think that we'll ever get that. And that's where this comes in, because this doesn't have a dedicated notch filter, but it does have a bell curve built into it. So you can do a negative bell curve with, negative 40 dB and whatever resonance thing you want, and then set it up with a bunch of LFOs or an ADSR or whatever. I don't think that programming a multi-stage envelope would be worth it in this anyways. And I think I've realized that just using an LFO is more than enough. But yeah. And then, like I said, man, with the microcosm, like nothing really sounds quite like it. There is the mood, actually, which some people are like, oh, it's better, but I don't know if I agree with that or not. And the interface and the usability behind this, I think, is actually, for me, better. Like there's all the modes. You have the looper, which that's a big deal to me. Like looping something and then mangling a loop is my jam. That's what I do. That's my thing, especially for coming up with musical ideas. That's one of the best, coolest ways to just get some awesome shit. Like, for example, if I were to even just do something on guitar, which is a little bit clinical, but no Jersey, no squeaky testing. If I go to this and put one, testing, testing. There we go. Okay, so I can grab the guitar, turn this off. Well, reset it and then turn the looper on. Turn that off, and now we can kind of send this through everything. So I think that recorded. I hope it recorded. Is that doing the thing? Maybe. Not too sure. Might have to do that again. But even just taking a loop like that and then sending it into a thing will do quite a bit for you. Let me back up. I don't think that it did. Yeah, it's not doing anything yet because it's not reading. Try that again. Let's go into the connect for just going into the analog heat on the premaster, or sorry, no, not the premaster. That's the feedback system. Let me start this over and just try this. Let's try that again. There we go. Why does that sound so busted? Yeah, I think they're both like 5 years old. Okay, now we've got something to work with. Oh, dude. That's so dope. I don't know who that is. You know, so even just working with this on loop, you know? And it's cool because there's just like a whole world to explore with this stuff. I feel like I hit the jackpot with this stuff, man. Wow. That's fucking crazy, man. Whatever that was right here, that was awesome. So this thing, sorry. Yeah, like that's gonna be fucking sick. Like, that's a new track idea for just like some hip hop shit. And then like we could, you know, even pull from some of this other stuff. And getting into all of that with the repitch and whatnot. You get what I mean though? Like, you know, and so kind of what I've been doing is just recording a bunch of this hardware stuff, or just synths and, you know, broken sounds in general, and turning it into a pack and whatnot. And I think that when I don't have ideas for stuff, in the same way that I make drums when I don't feel like making drums, or when I open projects and I don't feel like doing sound design, I have some drums and stuff, or I have some idea starters that I can use to branch out and create other stuff with. Love you, sweetie. Um, but yeah, does anybody have any questions on anything? We've only got 2 more days before Bitwig 6 comes out, and then I can only imagine or only dream what's going to come out from that. You know, I know it's going to be dope. I know it's going to be dope. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, Squeak? Isn't that right, Squeak? Isn't that right, Squeak? Yes, it is. Who you growling at, huh? Who you growling at? I really like it. So one of the biggest things that I had with my last interface is that if I turn my volume down past a certain point, only sound comes out of one speaker, and that fucking drove me crazy. I don't have that problem anymore, so I can pull this all the way down if I want to and still get sound. Oh, there's no sound coming out of that. Yeah, I'm still getting sound out of both speakers, so there's like this accuracy aspect to it. The other thing is, you know, now I have the controls with this, and so I think the scrolling is the dopest thing about this, because even if I'm not, like, let's say I'm doing something on another file or whatever, I can still scroll with this, which is really nice. Or I can zoom in and do all that, and so having that at the forefront is just a really, it feels like a timeline editor for, what's it called? For stuff like a video editing software or something, you know what I mean? And so this is, yeah, that's really awesome. Also looks cool. It's very attractive. You know, the lights and all that other stuff, along with the other lights that we have going on here. If I turn the lights off, you know, this is just a nice setup to look at. Hell, I could even turn the monitor off if I wanted to. And, well, maybe not, because I can turn one monitor off. I still need the second one over here, which you can barely see right there. There's that second monitor. Let me see my mouse. There it is. There it is. But yeah, I did get a discount on it. Bitwig hooked me up with a 30% discount, so I didn't have to pay full price. Thanks, Bitwig. And I'll be having quite a bit of coverage on that. But yeah, they took care of me, at least as much as they could. You know, I did ask them when they sent me the first Bitwig Connect. I was like, "Yo, can I keep this?" And they were like, "No." And I was like, "Please," and they were like, "No." But they were at least kind enough to give me a discount on this, which is, you know, can't complain. I'll take it. But yeah, man, we've got a lot of new tools coming in pretty soon. There's some other stuff that's coming out that I can't talk about, but it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be sick. I can't wait for that. And then also we have an Iridium core coming in any day now, and that's gonna be fun to set up with all of this stuff and put it in. Yeah. Well, nothing that I can't talk about well, actually, yeah, there's two things that I can't. There's one other thing that I can't say that is supposed to be coming in hardware wise, but it's not that I can't say it, it's just that it hasn't happened yet, and I don't want to jinx it. But that would be the best if they do follow through and they send me one of those, cuz I will be set for life. You're crushing, dude. Love how you're rocking hardware now. Yeah, I mean, you know, and who knows? Well, with the Electron boxes, I'll probably keep this as long as they exist, which I might, you know, upgrade over time in the next 10 years, or you know what I mean, something like that. But for the most part, when it comes into all this other stuff, I'm trying to be relatively minimal, which it doesn't seem minimal, but it is. I don't have that much stuff. But you know what I mean? I feel like I needed something different, because Shit. I mean, do you guys really want another tutorial on Neurobase from Faceplant? You know what I mean? I think for me, like what I'm seeking is just new sounds, or new approaches to sounds and new things to learn about. Whereas I don't really know outside of the grid, maybe like I don't really know where else to explore with the tools that I've already kind of like spent the time to master. And so now with all of this knowledge that I have, I'm trying to input that into other means, other things, explore new ideas that I haven't really gotten into with that kind of territory, you know, while still making music. I am like still exploring sound and all that other stuff, but that's kind of what it is for me. As a sketchpad, I can do sound design later on in the box. Yeah, so you can get to ideas and all that. But for me, like something that I've really come to realize with my personal workflow is that like I make my best music when I find a sound that really inspires me. And it's very difficult for me to do the opposite, to just like quote unquote write a track with like sine waves and some basic drums and be like, yeah, I know what this is supposed to become. I need that. I need that texture. I need that. I need that character for me to start seeing how to go beyond. And I think that's just something that's about my artistry and how I connect with myself. And that's part of the reason why I'm exploring new sounds and all that other stuff. I mean, if you think about it, even the digitone is relatively recent, but and I love the thing, but it's, well, yeah, now that I think about it, I've been using it ever since we got it. And I gotta say, it's been pretty fucking sick. Highly recommend this one. This one, this one's a winner. Actually, between the digitone, the analog heat plus effects, the digitact, they're all winners to me. But third-party synths that could help replace Harmor in Citrus. FM8 would replace Citrus to some extent. There's also Ghost that can potentially replace Citrus. The problem with Ghost is that it doesn't have a dedicated wavetable editor, but it does actually do true FM as opposed to just phase modulation. Well, yeah, yes and no. Like the thing about Citrus is that it's real FM, but if you're okay with phase mod, then yeah. Why are you why is Faceplant even in the question? Nothing can replace Harmor, I don't think. Harmor has spectral synthesis built into it. It's got a lot of like tools and processing things built within it that you can't really get anywhere else. I suppose if you're using Logic, Alckemy, not to be confused with myself, would be something that you could consider, but as a means of like a one-stop shop of what Harmor does, it's pretty unique. You are so cute. You are just the cutest. You are just the cutest ever. You're kind of stinky. You need a bath. Serum 2 Spectral isn't the same type of thing. I don't think so, personally. I don't... well, that would be a good comparison. If somebody has Harmor, because I don't, but that would be something to consider, I guess. But, I mean, do you not already have Serum? I guess I was trying to think about stuff of like that. I for some reason I just assume that everyone has Serum and everyone has Faceplant, and that's probably wrong of me because those are very expensive. But most people that come in here do. I guess. Or it feels like most people that come in here do. So if you don't have those would definitely be the first two recommendations. But from like a priority list, if you haven't purchased those, like I feel like that would be the highest on my list to recommend. You do have Serum. Yeah, well, I think Serum then probably as a Harmor replacement. I wouldn't like if you already have Serum and you already have Harmor, I might not be the person to suggest buying anything else because that can take care of. I mean, you've seen it. I've made Neurobase in Serum. I've made drums in Serum. I've made my pads. I've made my percussive generators. Like you can do all the things inside of it. It even has like a freaking, it's pretty much like a DAW now with the clip editor and the crazy fugue machine stuff that you can have set up, right? But phase plan would be really like trying to take sound design to the limits of your CPU. That's where I find phase plant works best. And granted, between multipass and snap heap, there's just some stuff that you can't get as well. But it's not that like it's more of that you can't get it from a single synth. You can get it from other means, and chances are, you know, if you have a bunch of other third-party plugins, you can just do that. But Harmon and Bitwig would be to use FLVSTI, which is a little clunky. Yeah, man, I hate that. Wait, is that a wrapper? Because does Harmor come? Wait, does Harmor come with FL Studio Mac edition? It's a plugin that loads FL. So you load FL and then you load Harmor. Oh, brother. It does if you get the all plugins edition. Man, that's rough. Hello, cutie. Hello, sweet girl. Have you been good? Hmm? Right, it's old too. I mean, I remember back in the day, like they had the alpha versions of plugins for Mac. Yeah, I imagine that it probably wouldn't be easy. Otherwise, somebody most likely would have. But I don't know. I wish I had an answer. I will say that there is an alternative to Maximus, which is it's a Melda plugin. So I think it's like MB XXX or something like that. And that has the same distortion curves and stuff that you find within Maximus. I don't want to buy it because of how expensive it is, but that is a consideration. All right, babe. Get down. Get down. You built some Maximus and MXXX. Oh, okay, yeah. So you're already up to date with that. Yeah, I think that would be the thing. That would be the only like true alternative that I know of. Other than that, I don't really know. But anyways, um yeah. Appreciate you all coming in, hanging out. Does anybody have any questions before I go? I'm gonna hang out with Corey since she's home early. And also I need to take the dog out. Yeah, dude. Thanks for your support, man. I see you everywhere. You know, I see you on Cheese Discord. I see you like I feel like I've seen you in several places. So I appreciate you, you know, making time to come and hang out on the channel here. That means a lot. And same thing for the rest of you. I appreciate that you guys choose to be here, even though I might not be doing something that you have or whatever, or sometimes I am, but it's just a means of what's Alckemy doing today and what am I going to explore, because that's kind of what I've come into. I appreciate that. For the rest of you as well, thank you so much for being here. We'll be back Wednesday, and when Wednesday comes about, we're going to have a new version of Bitwig. So I don't know, make a bingo card and put your features or whatever and compare or something like that, you know. Bitwig 6 time. Yeah, I know. All right, guys, I will check you later. I'm going to get her fed and take her out, and then I'll see you all on Wednesday on the other side. Have a good one. I'll see you later.